Shoot, man. Sorry, y'all. I had to come. I had to come run it back one more time. If you're back seeing part 2, all right. I had some technical difficulties, but we back now, y'all. So we about to get into the video footage of the Stefon Diggs case. Now, made no mistake, there's no excuse for cheating, and I believe that Stefon Diggs essentially is a womanizer, and that's why he's in the situation he's in now. So without further ado, we're going to get right into the reaction of the trial footage, starting with crime and law, Stefon Diggs, private chef, alleged slap and choking, court, testimony.
He asked me what was I doing for the week, and I asked.
Run it back.
Where were you on December 2nd?
I was in the house, 7 schoolmasters.
Gotcha. And that day, what were you doing that day?
I woke up in the morning, prepared breakfast. Mr. Diggs came downstairs. He asked me what was I doing for the week. And I asked him, oh, so you weren't going to tell me that I wasn't able to come to Art Basel? And he explained why. And it was because of the situation with me and the other coworker, Lindsay Bolin. And I was upset with him, not upset at the fact I couldn't go to Art Basel. Me and him have a relationship for over 4.5 years. He could have told me weeks ahead of time, because me and his girlfriend, Cardi B, we were talking about having like outfits and stuff. It was like a whole thing being planned, and he just waited till the last day. So I was more upset with him not letting me know I wasn't going to come like at an earlier time.
And at some point during this day, were you alone in your bedroom?
Yes.
And do you know around when this was?
It was in the, like around 3 afternoon, 3-ish.
When you're in your bedroom by yourself, what, if anything, were you doing?
I was sitting on the bed, laying across the bed, at my laptop, reading a cookbook, actually.
And were you communicating with any people at this point?
I received a text from Anna, was one of his friends.
Did you receive any text or send any text to Mr. Diggs?
No, the morning text. That was in the morning. We had went back and forth.
So you had some previous texts in the morning?
Yes.
So you're in the bedroom. What happens next?
I was in the bedroom. Mr. Diggs came into my room. I was laying across the bed. He came into my room.
And when you were in the bedroom, was the door closed?
Yes, the door was closed.
So when he came in, did he open the door?
Yes, he opened the door.
Did he leave it open after him?
No, he closed the door behind him.
And you said you were on the bed?
Yes, I was laying across the bed.
About how far away were you from the door?
About 4 or 5 feet, something like that.
So he comes in, closes the door behind him. What happens next?
He asked me to come here. He walked across the room and like leaned back on the dresser.
Okay, and just to give a kind of a sense, where's the dresser in the room in relation to like the door and?
Across the room, alongside the bathroom door.
Okay, so about how far away from the front door is the dresser?
Or 8 feet. I don't know them. A nice amount of feet.
Okay, so some amount of distance from it. You said he leans against the dresser?
Yes.
So, of course, right now, they're trying to recreate the situation in question that happened where she's allegedly asking for money, and then he somehow, puts his arm around her neck using the pit of his elbow and things like that, and then pushes her on the bed and all that kind of stuff. So she's trying to recreate this situation, the scenario right now.
Are you still on the bed at this point?
I'm still on the bed at this point.
What happens?
He comes in, he looks very angry. He was upset from the text exchange we were having. And in that text exchange, he was calling me bitches, and he was just very upset.
But what happened in that room?
He came in and he with intent to hurt me.
No. What, not his intent or anything. What actually happened?
He was leaning against the dresser. He asked me to get up to come here. I got up off the bed and I came across to him and I stood in front of him. Like I stood on the side of him. He was leaning back. I stood on the side of him. And he was like, what was all that shit you was talking?
Now, if you're just not joining me, again, I had technical difficulties earlier, so I had to run the stream back one more time. We are reviewing the footage of Stefon Diggs, the court case that he had, the assault and choking case that he had, all right? And this is the testimony. There's, I believe, 3 people that testified that testified during his trial. And we're going to review, like I said before, you can hit the Cashapp, Super Chat, join the channel membership. All those stuff is in the description box down below. Of course, if you're watching on TV, barcodes at the top. The top one is for Cashapp. The second one is for Ko-Fi. And yes, fair use to law and crime.
And then what happened?
And I was beginning to say, you said, and I couldn't finish my statement, and he smacked me.
So when you say he smacked
He
you,
smacked me with an open hand.
do you know which hand he used?
Right hand, right side of my
Do you know
face.
which part of your face got hit?
The right side of my face.
And I know you're putting your hand against your cheek. Was it your cheek that got
It was
struck?
my cheek that got hit.
About how far away from you were you from him when that happened?
I was at the end of the dresser.
And where was he?
He was in in front of me on the other side of the dresser.
So about how much space was in between you?
Maybe 3 feet, 4 feet.
So you said that he smacked. I want to use the word. Did you say smack or slap? I don't know what the word was.
Smack.
So he smacked you,
Yeah.
and then what happened?
I went to try to block him, push him like this, stop.
So again, I see you're pushing your hands out.
I pushed up. He's way taller than me. I pushed up for him.
How tall are you?
4'11", 5 feet.
And how tall is he? Do you know?
6 feet, 6'1".
So you said you pushed out and you made a motion of your hands. So does that mean you pushed with your hands
Yes.
around what, like his stomach, his chest, his shoulders?
Up to block his hands.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then he
Hold up. This
Nick,
girl
you're
here.
stupid.
This is where she starts trying to cry, y'all. She's trying to scrunch her face up and she's trying to conjure up emotions right now to cry, y'all. I don't think she ever actually sheds a tear at any point in this trial, even though she's trying her damnedest to produce water in her eyes to cry right now for effect, of course.
Can I have a second? Can I have a second?
Yes, you can.
Now let's look at the face, y'all. Let's check it out. Check it out. Do you see a tear? We're gonna check. Let's look at it. Do we see any tears come out? Picking the hair, get the mouth scrunch the mouth up. Whoa, I think we see one on the right. Wait a minute. I think maybe see one. Okay, hold up. I don't know if that's a tear or that's just a light coming off her cheek right there. Let's look. She ain't shed one goddamn tear the whole. Look at this.
Wait. When I went up to push his
No.
block him,
No tears, y'all. No tears. None. Okay.
Block him, he took his arm and he came around my neck with the grip of his elbow around my neck, and he began to choke me, pressure on my neck with his elbow.
So you said you pushed against him, and then he put his arm around your neck.
Yes,
Do you know? Were you facing away from him?
I was facing him.
You were facing him. He put his arm around your neck.
Yes, he spun me around.
He spun you around.
I don't have to show you more so than I can describe it.
Describe as best you can.
I was standing in front of him. When he slapped me, I went to try to hit him back like this. And then it was like he tackled me. Got me to try to keep from pushing him or protecting myself. And he put his arm around my neck like this, and he was choking me.
So you ended up in a position where his forearm or bicep was around your neck.
Yes.
And you said he choked you. What exactly did he put pressure on your neck?
Yes, he put pressure.
And were you able to breathe?
At first, and it kept getting tighter.
So were you able to breathe?
No.
About how long were you in this position?
I would say roughly I can't recall the amount of time. I just know it went from the edge where we were in front of the dresser to the side of the bed to him falling on top of me on the bed.
So about how far of a distance is that?
About maybe 4 or 5 feet, something like that, 5, 6 feet.
At some point, did he let you go?
Yeah, he let me go. When we got to the side of the bed, I was pushing back. I started to do a move that I saw off of social media. He said to me, that shit is not going to work.
So you said you tried to do
There
a
was a
move.
defensive move where you try to put your hands underneath the person that's trying to choke you. It's like something I saw on a women defensive page or something. And he said that shit you see on Instagram is not going to work. And that's when he got tighter. The more I was trying to put his hand, he got tighter.
And then what happened?
And then I was pushing back. And then he like fell down on top of me on the bed because I was on the side of the bed, and it was like he was like letting me, like I guess he was about to let me go, but as he was getting up, he like pulled my hair, and he was like, "Yeah, I thought so."
And then what happened?
He got up off of me, off the bed behind me, and he walked around the bed. I told him I still haven't got paid. He said lies, and he was like, "So what are you doing? So what are you doing for the week?" And I was like, "I'm staying here." He said, "I don't want anyone in my house. I don't want anyone here." I was like, "Okay, so who's gonna get my ticket?" He said, "Who always gets your ticket?" And that's it. He walked out of the room.
So from the moment he entered the room to the moment he left, about how much time went by?
My last text to Anna was probably like 3:30 something. I text Sunny at 4:11, so it was between that time because I didn't have plans. I didn't have money to go anywhere to travel, I know.
I know, but just the question was about how long time.
It was just in between that time. I can't say exact, but I know it's before 4:11.
So is that 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes?
He was in the room probably maybe 10 minutes.
So they're still trying to recreate the scenario. She gets choked. Some words are exchanged. She's still trying to get her money because she said she didn't get paid. After he let her, he fired her. And she still has a room in this place, mind you. So she has to get all her stuff and leave. And so she's still trying to track down her bread after allegedly she almost got choked out and slapped.
Sure.
When he left the room, what happened next?
I looked down at my pants. I had peed my pants, and I had just came off my cycle, and I was bleeding really bad again. I guess because I was so scared, I changed my pants, and I cleaned up myself, and I came back in the room, and that's when I texted Sunny to get my flight.
And where was that flight to?
Atlanta.
At some point, did you exit your? When you said you went to your bathroom, is that the bathroom that's connected to the bedroom, right?
Yes.
At some point, did you leave out your bedroom again?
I didn't leave out my bedroom till later in the afternoon.
But so at some point later on, you did. Do you know about how long you stayed there?
In my bedroom? A while, because I was trying to figure out what I was going to do.
So at some point, though, that later on that day, you exited out of the bedroom?
Yes.
And what did you do next?
When I exited out of the bedroom? While I was in my bedroom, I was packing my clothes to leave. I called another coworker, I would call her, and I just asked her, like, what she was doing. And she was like, I told her I wasn't able to go to Art Basel, and that I was going home, and she was like, oh, you should come here. And I was like, you know what, I'll come there.
When she said here, what does that mean?
New York City. So I then proceeded to change my flight to go to New York.
Okay. And when was that flight going to be?
I just know I landed at 10:49. It was a later flight in the
But it's that day?
It's that day, yes.
Did you see Miss?
Wait a minute. So all this happened, and then later on she caught a flight. She caught a flight and went to New York. And then I guess at some point after that, she allegedly made this report after all this happened. Because it's happened on December 6th. What?
Mr. Diggs, anytime after that happened that day?
Yes.
And what was that like?
He was getting a massage, and I was leaving out by the time I saw him. I was handing over birthday gifts that I had got
So when you said you're handing out birthday gifts, who were you handing out birthday gifts?
to him.
This is a gift that you had already purchased, or?
Yes, I normally give him a birthday gift every year.
Now, this is one of the places where they caught her up slipping, right? Besides the crying bit or the lack of crying a few minutes ago. After all this happened, before she got on the flight to go to New York to leave this man after he allegedly assaulted you, you actually gave him gifts afterwards, which I understand that in certain situations, women do things that are out of character after they've been through some kind of trauma. So I understand that. But for the purpose of this case, this was one of many things that discredited her during the case. So he choked you out, he slapped you, threw you on the bed, and then he left out of there, went and got a massage. You packed your stuff up. You had a flight to Atlanta at first, and then you rebooked the flight to New York, and before you left out of there, you gave Stefon Diggs a bunch of birthday gifts, or at least some birthday gifts, and a card, because I think she wrote a card too. So either she's going to say it or one of the other people that testified is going to say it. She actually wrote a birthday card for him and gave it to him before she left.
When's his birthday?
November 28th.
Okay, so this was a little bit afterwards?
Yeah.
So at some point, did you leave this house?
Yes.
How did you leave to get to the airport?
A car, a Uber.
All right, and so an Uber came and picked you up and brought you to the airport?
Yes.
You went to New York. Was it New York City or New York State?
New York City.
Also New York City, yeah. And who did you meet up in New York City?
I met up with Shy Charles, and she picked me up from the airport, and we went to pick up her friend Talia, and then we went to her ex-husband's house to pick up something or to do something she had to do. We were there. We ordered wings and watched a movie, watched some videos.
And did you tell anyone here about what had happened to you?
No, I didn't tell anyone there because they have their own interpersonal sexual relationship, so I would have never told her anything like that.
How long did you stay in New York?
I stayed in New York Tuesday to Tuesday, so 7 days a week.
And did you come back to Massachusetts?
Yes.
And did you come back to working for Mr. Diggs?
Yes.
Wait a minute. So after all this, you came back to Massachusetts and went back to working for him after all this happened? You went back? Okay.
At some point, and I know this was a little bit before, maybe a little bit afterwards, but at some point were you talking to Mr. Diggs about money you felt he owed you?
It was past wages.
Okay.
Yes.
When did you first bring that up with him?
During the week of our Passover. I want to say like maybe the 5th or 6th.
Of December?
Yes.
Okay. And so you felt that he owed you some money from wages that weren't paid? Is that what you're saying?
I wasn't paid for the time of the month. Like I had been paid for the weeks that I put in at that time.
Okay. And who did you talk to Mr. Diggs directly, or did you talk to his finance people? Who did you talk to about this?
It was a chain of command. Like I would talk to his assistant. But his assistant was under investigation for stealing watches and money. So I don't know if my
The judge has sustained that portion of the answer will be stricken from the record, and the jurors will disregard it.
So the judge just disregarded that answer that she gave, talking about her assistant was under, or his assistant was under investigation for stealing stuff, because that's irrelevant to what he's talking about. So they're going to strike that.
Sustained that portion of the answer will be stricken from the record, and the jurors will disregard it. Give it no consideration to the jury's report deliberation. Please answer the question asked. Commonwealth, next question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So they're basically telling her, don't add stuff to just answer the question. You don't need to add facts to it. Just answer the question just answer with, facts that's relevant to the question.
At some point, did someone from Mr. Diggs bring up the...
So we're going to be done with that. We're going to run it. Now we're going to go to the second clip. So she got accosted inside the apartment and all that good stuff. Now let me find the next clip. I believe no, it wasn't that. Okay, there's the opening statements. Hold on a second, y'all. That is that. Okay, slap. Okay, here we go. No, not that one. It never happened. Let me see here. This one. I already ran through that one. This one right here.
And with the dash cam on it, right?
No, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that.
No.
You didn't see a dash cam?
Wait a minute, not that one. Fully repaid. Here we go. Legends. Zap. Okay. Yep. That's the one. That is the one. Let's be repeatedly paid. Let's go.
And?
Yes.
And then the inside is burgundy.
If most as I remember, I can't say exact.
Okay.
And Shai has a dash cam right in her car, doesn't she?
Not that I'm aware of.
You didn't see a dash cam in her car?
No, I saw like where you see the speedometer and stuff like that.
No, not down on the panel where people look when they're driving. Up on the top of her car. There's a bar on the top of her car with a dash cam on it, right?
No, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that.
No,
Did Shai ever tell you that she had a dash cam in her car?
no,
Okay. Did you know that you were being recorded on that dash cam on December 2nd?
no,
Did you know you were being recorded on December 3rd?
no.
You know now you were recorded, correct?
Yes.
And you've seen the videos that came from Shai's dash cam in her car, true?
No,
Oh, you haven't seen them yet?
no.
Your Honor, permission to publish Exhibit 5. I understand it's already in evidence.
You ready? No.
Your Honor, sorry, maybe we can see the sidebar.
I don't know, Ms. Adams, were you able to see that person in that video? If not, we can play the whole thing. Okay. You can play the whole thing. I think they're gonna just fix. So while this is playing, Ms. Adams, do you recognize that person on the video as you?
Yes.
And you're sitting in the front seat of Shai's car?
Yes.
And this is you when you were, just after you were picked up from LaGuardia Airport on December 2nd, right?
Yes.
Was there someone else in the car to your memory?
Now, this, if I'm not mistaken, is her when she got picked up in New York with her friend, and there's the dash cam, I guess, allegedly recording her as she's going to her friend's house, and they're going about doing whatever they're doing that night after she gets picked up. And she's laughing and carrying on and listening to in the music, and it doesn't appear to be that she's bothered by anything. Now, she said earlier that was because her friends and other stuff had stuff going on, so she didn't want to impose her problems onto them. But they're using this dash cam footage as reasoning that nothing was wrong with her. She just left a traumatic situation. She flies into New York with her friend, and she doesn't even mention it. She's having a good old time. That's what they're saying.
I'm sorry?
No, not Michigan.
Okay. Did Tali Moses also get picked up from LaGuardia just after you?
No, she got picked up with her boyfriend's house.
Okay. But she was eventually in that car with you. So Shai was driving the car, is that right?
Yes.
And then you're in the front passenger seat as we see you?
Yes.
And then did Tali sit in the back behind you? I'm sorry? Behind Shai? Okay. And this was all on December 2nd? And this is the day you say you were violently assaulted?
Yes, that doesn't justify or prove that I wasn't assaulted because I learned how to save face.
Okay. Mr. Petallo, can we also show the next video? It's also in Exhibit 5.
Your Honor, just for clarification, there's Exhibit 5, I think it's just a number of videos in one exhibit.
Thank you, sir. And do you recognize the person in this video?
Yes.
And that's you in Shai's.
Now, this is on the 3rd, the day after she arrived in New York.
Car again? And this is the next day, right? It's December 3rd. Do you recognize that? Well, I might not be able to see. I'll give you, Mr. Petallo, is this marked as Exhibit 5 also, the stills?
The stills are
6 and 7? I should have marked as Exhibit 7. Do you recognize that person as you?
Yes.
And that's you and Shai's car, right? When you visited her in New York City? And you say you don't remember if that's, what date that is? Karen, I'm sorry, I have to go later. If I could direct your
I
attention.
didn't say I remember what date it was.
Oh,
I can't tell the date. I don't remember. I was in her car waiting for the week.
okay.
You're telling me it's December.
If I could direct your attention to this line right here. See how it says 2025, 1203? Do you know what that means? Okay. But this is you on your New York trip with Shai in her car.
On New York State, the track.
Okay.
This is not.
Ew, you see that little attitude she gave? Like, yeah. Damn.
This has not been preliminarily marked. Offering it. I believe that is intended to be in the thumb drive. It's in the thumb drive separately.
Still, so I think Mr. Reference probably more than 6 or 7. If you want to admit it, there.
I have no objection to those stills being marked as 6 and 7.
Thank you.
This would be exhibit 7 that is done.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Clerk. And this is,
The copy for the court.
yes, sir. This is Exhibit 6. And then you also had some videos taken of you by Tolly while you were in New York, right?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
Do you remember? Well, first, you, Shai, and Tolly all stayed in Brooklyn, in New York, from December 2nd to December 9th, right?
Yes.
And you all stayed in the same bedroom,
Yes.
slept in the same bedroom,
Yes.
and were together a lot of the time that week. True?
Mostly yes.
Okay. And there was one night where you and Tolly were kind of goofing around with the video and taking videos. Do you remember that?
I don't recall it.
Okay. Mr. Kettlewell, can we play Exhibit 8? And, well, before we do, I would move Exhibit 8 into evidence. It's a video from December 6th. Thank you.
No objection to that for the record.
Yeah, let's go.
And Ms. Adams, did you recognize the person on that video?
Yes.
Who is that?
Me.
And that's in Shai's bedroom, right?
Yes.
Where you and Tolly and Shai spent the entire week, right?
Majority Tally would sleep on the couch some days.
I'm sorry?
Tally would sleep on the couch some days.
Okay. But in that video, Tolly was videoing you, right?
Okay. I don't recall that.
You don't remember that?
Yeah, but we were up there.
Okay. Mr. Kettlewell and Your Honor, I would move in Exhibit 9, which is another video from that same time. December 6, 2025.
That's the one for the record.
Thank you, gentlemen. Ms. Adams, that was you on that video?
I mean, look at it, just having a good old time, man. You see that? Now, again, they're trying to say that you were having all this fun and everything, but a few days ago, you were just getting yoked up by Stefon Diggs, right? But now you dancing and singing and carrying on. You laughing and joking in the car. You have been there for like 4 or 5 days, and you go back to Massachusetts and go back to Stefon Diggs' house to go back to work.
Yes.
And Your Honor, I would move in stills as Exhibit 9 and 10. Those are stills from Exhibit 8.
No objection.
And Ms. Adams, I'd just ask you to look at those and tell me if that's a fair and accurate representation of you from the week you spent in New York,
Cheese and showing teeth.
December 6, 2025.
Yes.
Your Honor, may I publish to the jury? Thank you.
Just for the record.
I am
Showing teeth.
offering to the jury Exhibits 9 and 10, which are two stills taken from the
Fast forward a little bit.
as Exhibit 3, please. There's blue bubbles, you see, and green bubbles. 2nd, where you called him a pussy.
Oh, here go the
right?
text
Yes.
message. Here go the text
As
message.
exhibit
Hold on. I missed this part.
On what day he was coming back. It was late in the night.
Now, Steph and his group got back from Miami to his Dedham home on December 7th, correct?
I'm not sure the day he got back. I got back on the night.
I'm sorry?
Tuesday. Well, it was late in the night. Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. The 9th I got back.
Well, you know he got back to the Dedham house before you did.
I didn't know that. When I got there, I realized that he was there. I was in no communication with him on what day he was coming back.
But you were in communication with him.
To ask for my pay, yes.
Can you turn to tab C, which has been marked as Exhibit 3, please? And you testified about the text exchange you had with him at around 12:30 on December 2nd, where you called him a pussy, right?
Yes.
And then he
What?
said, "Show me I'm pussy," and you said, "Will do."
Yes.
Right? And then if you turn the page, if you look to the next message from you, so in Exhibit 3, there are bubbles, right? There's blue bubbles, you see, and green bubbles.
Yes.
And do you understand the green bubble to be Steph Diggs' messages
Yes.
and the blue bubbles to be your messages?
Yes.
Okay. And if you look on the page, I hope you're on the right page, it ends in that number on the bottom right corner at 118. Do you see that number? Now may I approach? Yes.
Cameraman Petty. He's petty. She's smiling, cheesing, showing teeth. Look at that. Having fun.
117, the page you just looked at. Looking at 118, your first message. And do you see down here these numbers here?
Yes.
So this message was sent on December 5th, correct?
Yes.
All right, and you sent it.
Yes.
So now this is 3 days after the violent assault that you talked about.
Yes.
And what did you say in that message?
How can you approve my pay with finance, please? I have to pay my insurance this month. Thank you. Please and thank you.
Okay. And then if you could look at the next message. Actually, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's hold that for a second. So you were texting with Steph Diggs in the week you were in December. I'm sorry, in the week in December you were in New York, right?
I text Stefon one time.
Okay. But your testimony is you don't know when he was coming back to the Dedham house.
I did. I didn't know the exact date.
You did. But you knew he was coming back.
Yes.
Because that would be important to know, right?
I've worked in this industry. I went off of a previous client schedule. They normally will return on Tuesday. So
Well,
I was in guest mode.
But the last time you saw Steph Diggs was when he was assaulting you, you said.
That wasn't the last time I saw Steph Diggs. I said here that I walked in his room after the assault before I was leaving to give him his birthday gift.
That's right.
Yes.
Which will come up later. I think it's gonna come up later, but she doesn't realize that all the stuff she's giving, the way she's saying it, she's basically telling on herself. But let's continue.
You gave him a birthday gift after the assault happened.
We were friends for 4.5 years with a very complicated relationship.
Okay. So if I could ask you actually to turn to Exhibit 4, which is behind the tab D. And Your Honor,
Attitude
this is
coming
an
out.
evidence.
Attitude coming out. She's breathing hard.
And if you look at that number on the bottom right corner, turn to the page that ends in 173. And I'll ask you some questions before we get to that substance, okay? I think you testified on December 9th you went back to the Dedham house, right?
Yes.
And you got yourself an airplane back to Boston, right?
Sonny got me an airplane back to Boston.
Okay. And you landed at Logan Airport at night.
Yes.
Then you took an Uber to the Dedham house.
Yes.
You arrived around 11:30 p.m.
Yes.
You were alone.
Yes.
You came by yourself.
Yes.
Didn't bring anybody.
No.
Okay. And when you got in the house, you went and knocked on Steph's bedroom door.
I went to put my things away and I knocked on his door. Yes.
I'm sorry.
I went to put my things away and knocked at his door.
And that was around midnight on changing over from December 9th to December 10th, right?
That's what it says here. I don't recall the time, but it's what the messages say.
Well, he didn't open his door, did he?
His code was different. He changed the codes when I came back.
Right, because in that house, the bedrooms all had key codes on each door,
That
didn't
he
they?
controlled. Yes.
Did the bedrooms all have key codes on that door?
Yes, that he controlled.
I'm sorry. This is a yes or no question. See if you can try it. Did all of the bedrooms in that house have different key codes on them?
Yes, that he controlled.
So you can.
What do you mean?
Lady, he doesn't. You keep saying that he controlled it. That doesn't matter. Did they all have different key codes? Yes or no? You're adding facts to the question that aren't relevant. That's why she keeps re-answering the question. You keep answering it because you just want to insert the fact, don't you?
You had a key code on your door, right?
Yes.
And if it was shut, it would be locked, right?
No. The door had issues. I would often text Sunny because she check and make sure my door was locked.
I'm sorry, when did you text Sunny to please check if your door was locked?
When I left the first week of November, when he made me leave to have female guests over.
Your Honor.
See, there she go. There you go. The testing us. Let female guests over. Your pettiness is showing, ma'am. Just answer the question. Your pettiness is starting to come out. Wow, come on, man.
To please check if your door was locked.
When I left the first week of November, when he made me leave to have female guests over.
Your Honor.
That answer is not responsive will be stricken, and the jury will disregard it.
So on December 9th, round about midnight, when you got back to his house alone, you went and knocked on his door, right?
Yes.
And he didn't open it.
I didn't knock. I tried to get in the door.
Okay, you tried to walk into his door.
No, that's how I would go in his room. I would unlock his door.
Sure, just like always, right?
When he needs food and his door was closed, I would go in his room.
Right.
I never went in his room without permission.
You going in there on December 9th is no different than any other day, right?
No.
And when you weren't able to get in, you actually sent him a text message, right?
Yes.
And you told him, can you read what you told him?
I was coming to ask you what time you have to be at work and to say hi.
Okay. And then you just went right back to work, right?
Yeah, I went to bed.
I'm sorry?
I went into my room.
You went into your room and you went to sleep
Yes.
by yourself
Yes.
in the house
Yes.
with Steph Diggs there.
Yes.
And then the next morning you got up and you made him breakfast.
Yes.
Like nothing ever happened. Let's see this. All this stuff happened, right? And you hadn't got your money yet. I guess you were staying to see if you can get some money. So you went through all this stuff and then came back, knocked his door to say hi, and then went to bed, woke up the next morning and cooked him freaking breakfast. Like he didn't yoke you up on the collar a few days ago.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch.
This is
Now, you told Officer Ellis when you reported the assault that you left your position on December 2nd. Do you remember that?
I was saying I left the house. I didn't leave my position. I was really going back to get my things. I had no plan, but nowhere to go, so I needed to be nice to him.
sympathy play.
Did you tell Officer Ellis, after the alleged assault on 12/2/2025, Adams left her position and left the residence to stay with a friend in New York?
Left my position mean I left to get on a plane and go. I didn't tell him I quit. That didn't mean that I quit.
You didn't quit.
No.
Did you tell Officer Ellis that on 12/9/2025, you returned to the house just to get your property?
Yes, I was going to get my property.
But you were also going to work for a while first?
Basically, I was going to get my property. I was trying to get my money. I asked Mr. Diggs the next day about my money when I returned to the house.
And you kept on cooking and doing your job for a whole nother week, didn't you?
No, I stopped cooking. If I'm not mistaken, I didn't cook over the weekend because I said on the 11th, I asked Mr. Diggs in front of his mother and Sir Charles about my pay.
Okay.
That was another text.
I'll ask a different question.
Okay.
On several days of that week, you simply kept doing your job, right?
And asking for my pay.
That's a yes or no.
It's a yes or no fucking answer. Enemy spotted. God, see. And again, this doesn't mean this. Anybody would do something. A lot of people would do this kind of stuff, interjecting facts in their, like you having an attitude. These facts that are irrelevant to the actual case. Now, are there things that in your mind was troubling you? For sure, got it. But in respect to the case, you interjecting these personal gripes doesn't matter. That's why you're getting frustrated because you're answering the question not knowing that Oh my goodness.
Question now.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You kept doing your job.
Yes.
Officer Ellis was wrong when he wrote that you left your position on 1292.
I left the house, so him putting position didn't mean that I left my job as a chef. I left the house on December 2nd.
So you told Officer Ellis that you left your position, but you meant you left the house to go to New York.
I left for the day. It wasn't that I was saying I quit or saying it in a way that I quit my job. I didn't say that.
You've mentioned Mr. Diggs' assistant, Sunny, a couple of times, right?
Stealing Sunny, yes.
I'm sorry?
Stealing Sunny, that's what he calls her.
Your Honor, I moved to strike, and I'd ask that the
Once again, stealing Sandy. We don't need her nickname, lady. Just answer the question. You mentioned her, yes.
witness be instructed to please answer a question.
That answer will be stricken in the jury's disregarded. And if you don't understand, please ask the counsel to restate it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sunny was a friend of yours, wasn't she?
No.
Ms. Adams, you texted Sunny all the time, didn't you?
Because that was my contact. Go-to contact for payment, go-to contact if I didn't have access to his card or I didn't have money on my card to order food. And we would discuss things at work.
I'm going to show you a document. Take a look and see if you can recognize that as text messages between you and Sunny.
Can I see what this is?
Oh, of course. Sorry. Do you recognize that document as text messages between you and Sunny?
Yes.
Yes? Mm-hmm. Okay, Your Honor, may I approach? Document doesn't have numbers on it, so I'm just going to go through. Do you see where the messages start on Thursday, December 11th, 20, at 7:44 a.m.? You see that?
Yes.
And this is an exchange between you and Sunny, right?
Yes.
And you write to her, morning, did you change my door code, right?
Yes.
And that's what you were just talking about. Each door has its own door code in Steph Diggs' home, right?
Yes.
And you were having trouble getting into your door code on December 11th.
Yes.
And had you been having trouble getting into your door code since you got back on the evening of the 9th and 10th?
When I walked in on the 9th, it pushed right open.
Okay. All right. So it changed in somewhere around there.
When the morning, maybe when I walked out the door, that morning I made breakfast. If I'm not mistaken, that's the morning that,
Yeah, ma'am, I'm just going to stop you because
Okay.
it's not responsive.
all right.
All right? So on December 11th at 7:44, you asked Sunny, did you change my door code? And she says, no, I don't know the code, right?
She doesn't have access to change code.
Okay. And she says, Rich? Question mark. Who's Rich?
Rich was like somebody that helped around the house.
He was like a maintenance guy.
I call him that.
Someone to help around the house?
He did a lot of stuff for Mr. Diggs.
Okay.
He was
And
a
he was at the
maintenance
house a
person.
lot, right?
If we need anything, yes, we would call Rich.
Okay. And you say to Sunny, I asked, he hasn't answered yet. And then you say they changed it, right?
Yes.
Sunny asks, who changed it?
Your Honor, maybe we can see inside one.
Okay, so we're done with that one. Let's go to the next video here real quick. Let's scroll down. This is where they're going to question her about the text messages because she deleted some messages out of there. So let's go here.
The fear of how I'll be perceived.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Approaching now with a main direct potential is marked as Exhibit 3. Do you mind looking through this? It's a number of pages. And when you're kind of looked at it a little bit, you can look back at it.
I'm reading all of them or just that first page?
Have you read a few of those? Well, let me say, from what you've seen, do you recognize what these seem to be?
Yes.
What are these?
Text messages about the,
Do you know who the text messages are between?
yes, between me and Mr. Diggs.
And do you know when these text messages are from?
12-2. Yeah, 12-2.
So were those text messages that were going on between you and me that morning of that day?
Yes.
And if I can ask you to maybe go to the third last page on this.
In this whole thing?
Of this section. Your Honor, may I approach and...
Yes.
Yes.
So on the top page, there's a text that says pussy, right?
Yes,
And who sent that?
I did.
And how did Mr. Diggs respond?
Show me I'm pussy.
And how did you respond?
Will do.
And,
Will do.
Were those the last text messages sent before Mr. Diggs hit you?
Yes. I'm not mistaken.
Your Honor, may I approach once more?
Yes.
Bring your attention now to what's marked Exhibit 4. Can you look through a few of these? And do you recognize what these are?
Yes.
And what are these?
These are messages that I sent him asking to be paid.
And do you know when around these were from?
It was a couple days after. They were in Art Basel. 12-5 it says. Yeah, I know I was begging for my money for a while.
Just, I think, final question. When he was in the room, when he slapped you, when he threw you in a headlock, was there anyone else in the room but you two?
Just us two.
And were there other people in the house?
Yes.
Do you know where they were in the house?
Downstairs. If I'm not mistaken.
And you said you went to New York and you met with a Shy, is it Shy?
Yeah.
How did you know Shy Charles?
She works for him.
Okay, so,
She braids his hair.
and so, has she known you longer or him longer?
Him longer.
No further questions, Your Honor?
You recall testifying under oath to this jury that your fight on December 2nd was about Lindsay, your anger at Lindsay, and you being told you couldn't go on the Miami trip.
My anger was at Stefon. I never said my anger was at Lindsay.
You were angry at Stefon on December 2nd
Yes.
because you were told you couldn't go on
I was
Miami.
angry at Stefon because we were friends. He told me at the last minute I could not go to Art Basel.
And yet when you walked into the police station on December 16th, you said you had been having an ongoing text exchange over money owed to you.
Yes, money owed to me after I asked Mr. Diggs on December the 2nd, when can I get paid?
Your Honor, may I approach?
Your Honor, you see that sidebar?
Yeah. And you see on the report where it says, she said that on this date, the male that she worked for entered her unlocked bedroom. They had been having an ongoing text exchange over money owed to Adams. She said that they began to discuss this, which apparently angered the male.
I did
There's no
not.
question pending yet. Do you see that language?
Yeah.
Did you say that to Police Officer Ellis on December 16th?
Yes, I see it.
And I wasn't sure about it.
To my recollection, it was true. We did discuss money and payment.
Ms. Adams, you just testified under oath about what happened on December 2nd. correct?
Okay, I also didn't put in the police report our sexual relationship because I was ashamed. The police report got leaked. I didn't put a lot of things. The most important thing was the attack in the police report. Me reporting anything outside of why he got upset, I didn't feel the need to put it. I was scared of how it was received by the public. He's in a very public relationship with Cardi B. So I did not put a lot of things in the police report. My most important thing was him assaulting me and choking me and slapping me. So that was the most important thing that I put in the police report. I was very vague. I didn't feel the need that I had to go and explain the relationship.
When you were asked questions, you actually gave.
I didn't feel.
You must wait until I finish the question.
Wait until counsel answers the question. Answer it. You don't understand it.
Because you didn't feel it was important. When you were asked questions about what happened on December 2nd, you lied.
It did not change what happened on December 2nd. It did not change what happened on December 2nd. He choked and slapped me.
Ms. Adams, I'm going to try my question again. Because you didn't think it was important. When you asked the questions of Dedham Police Officer Ellis on December 16th, you lied.
I did not lie.
You lied, lady.
Enemy spotted.
Now, you can just say I lied because of what, and they give a reason and give a justification, but the fact of the matter is you lied. Or you lied by omission, but you're still lying. Oh, man.
Just did not expand on detail on the relationship I had with Mr. Diggs. I didn't feel that that was important. The sexual.
Okay, so you left stuff out of the report. That's lying by omission, lady. Well, I said this, but I didn't say this because I thought it wasn't relevant or I was scared to. You lied by omission. That is still not telling the truth, the whole truth.
Relationship, I didn't feel like that was important. I didn't feel it was important that he was upset because I told him I was not in love with him like those other women. I was ashamed of being with him. I didn't feel the need to explain that to the police officer.
Ms. Adams, please answer the question. And ask the next question.
Under oath, on December 2nd, when you claim Mr. Diggs walked into your room, you had not been having a text exchange fight over money.
The last text exchange fight was over money. The last text exchange was me saying, you need to pay me out for the rest of the season. I'm out of your life. Give me the money for my business in that order. That was the last text exchange. His response to me.
Ooh, she mad now,
Hey, man,
boy.
before we get to his response, why don't we get
You
to
will
what
be
you
paying
were
me out for the
responding to?
season and the money you said you will give me for my business. Wasted my, excuse my language, fucking time being here because you have a, excuse my language again, fucking circus going on. I am out of your life. I am ruining that bitch life.
All right, Ms. Adams, you're going to listen to counsel's question. You're going to answer that question, and then you're going to wait for the next question. This is not an opportunity
She
for you
mad
just
now.
to say whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
All right? It is to be responsive to the question presented.
Okay.
Next question.
Thank you, Anna. That response that you just read, that was actually a response to something Steph wrote to you, right?
That was a text exchange
It's
over
a yes or
money.
no question now.
What was your question?
What you just read into the record, that was a response to a text message that Steph sent to you, correct?
Yes.
And in that request, in that message that Steph sent to you, you understood you were getting fired, right?
No.
What Steph wrote to you is, "I'ma leave you be. Thank you for cooking for me for this season. I appreciate you. Hate it even got to this, but oh well." Right?
Yes.
And you understood when you received that he was telling you you were not going to be cooking for him anymore.
No.
You didn't understand that.
No.
And that's why you responded with, "You will be paying me out this season and the money you owe me."
No.
Because you knew you were about to lose your job, right?
I was not about to lose my job.
You didn't understand, "I'ma leave you be. Thank you for cooking for me this season. I appreciate you. Hate it even got like this," as a sign that you were about to lose your job?
No.
Stop the cap, lady. Man, you knew you was getting fired, and so it's time to freaking it's time to freaking blow it up right now. Give me my money, give me this, give me that. I'm finna ruin so and so life. You knew you was getting sacked, and so now it's time to go scorched earth. That's exactly what you were doing in that text message, lady. Stop the cap.
In any event, you didn't tell Officer Ellis on December 16th when you reported this assault any of that, right?
The last text message was about money. The last back and forth text messages was about money. Money he owed me for not finishing out the contract, and money he owed me that he said that he would invest in my business.
So
I took a lower pay because Stefon agreed.
That he said he was going to invest in your business and you possibly believed him, which is his fault. I get it. But he really only owes you the time. Really, he only owes you for the time that you spent for work. And yeah, that was it.
That I will have chance to work on my business by working with
Ms.
him.
Adams, there's no question in front of you right now. And again, Please answer the questions put to you. It is not an opportunity for you just to vent with your story.
Well, this judge is frustrated with this lady because, man, she is getting pissed.
You told other falsehoods to Officer Ellis, didn't you?
No, not to my knowledge.
You told Officer Ellis that you had injuries from this alleged assault, right?
I told him I had bruising, meaning redness, and soreness on my throat.
You told him you had bruising on your neck, right?
It was like red. It was in like purple bruises. On the incident report, pull that up.
You didn't have any injuries when you walked into the police office on December 16th, did you?
No, because that happened on December 2nd.
Right. So any injuries that you would have had, you had a reason for why they weren't there, right?
It happened, it faded. The fading went away the night.
Right. And did you take any pictures of your injuries?
I was in shock. The first thing was not to take pictures. It was to get it together.
I thought you just testified under oath that you had just received a text message from a woman named Anna. That's Anna Kokolas, right?
You're in the wrong timeline.
You didn't just testify under
You're on
oath.
the wrong
that Anna-
timeline.
You didn't just testify under oath that you were sitting on your bed, reading a cookbook, got a text message from Anna, and Mr. Diggs walked into your room?
Mr. Diggs walked in minutes after I texted him. That's how I based the time on what time he walked in the room.
Okay. So you had a phone in your hand when he walked in the room?
My phone was on the bed. I was reading a book. I wasn't texting her in the moment of Mr. Diggs walking in the room.
No. Okay. But you had a phone right there in your room?
Yes.
It's an iPhone?
Yes.
It's got a camera on it?
Yes.
And you can take videos with it?
Yes.
And you do take videos with it?
Yes.
You take pictures with it?
Yes.
You take pictures of yourself with it?
Yes.
A lot?
Not often.
Not often. You have social media account for your business, don't you?
Yes.
Do you post things on your social media account?
I'm not as active as I should be.
You don't use your iPhone to take videos or pictures for that?
I'm not a very active person on social media.
I see. But you certainly had a phone in your room when you claim you were violently assaulted and injured, right?
That has nothing to do or justify.
This lawyer, this lawyer is cooking her.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch.
She basically saying that you had a cell phone, so you didn't take pictures of your injury, nothing like that, but you knew how to send text messages and everything else. Man, ooh, they frying her ass.
Reason I was
It's a
attacked.
yes or no question, ma'am.
Yes, I had a phone.
You took no pictures of your face or your neck or
That
your
has
chest?
nothing to do.
I need to finish my question.
Okay.
You took no pictures of your face on December 2nd, did you?
No.
No pictures of your neck on December 2nd, right?
No.
No pictures of your chest on December 2nd?
No.
You said Mr. Diggs hit you across the face. Did you have any marks on your face?
No.
You understand Mr. Diggs is a professional football player, right?
Yes.
He's an elite athlete.
I don't know. He could have to be.
You don't know that he's an elite athlete?
I guess.
Okay.
You call him that.
And you testified he slapped you across your face?
Yes.
And you had no marks from it?
I was red. I was red. I'm lighter complexion.
Bruises, they get worse over time. Do you agree with me?
It was redness. It wasn't bruises.
Oh, hang on. There's an objection. Okay, go on.
She's right, man. A person of Stefon Diggs' strength and stature and things like that, if he had slapped you like full force, your face would have been red for days, right? Been sore and bruising for days because she's light-skinned, a black woman here. You would have been sore. Your jaw would have been sore and you've been red for a good while, right? You would have had visible injuries if he had slapped you and choked you with enough force to where you had to, you know, your breathing was getting slow and all that. If he had choked you like that with the big old muscle and arms he got as a wide receiver, professional athlete, an elite athlete, as she says, you would have had more injuries. I mean, maybe not serious injuries, but definitely visible injuries.
That is overruled. You may answer the question.
I have redness, Mark. Like, I'm light skinned. I turn red when
You also get bruises, don't you?
if I hit something hard, yeah.
Right. And bruises get worse over time, right?
Okay. I'm not
Do
sure.
they?
I'm not sure. I don't get bruises a lot. I don't recall.
Do you recall telling Officer Ellis you were bruised on December 2nd?
My idea of bruising is soreness, hurting. I was red. It was redness. My face was red and on my chest was red. I didn't turn purple or pink or anything like that. I didn't. It was redness.
Because you didn't have
This lawyer is using her own words against her, man. This is nasty work.
any injuries when you walked into the police station on December 16th. Officer Ellis actually sent you a form to fill out to describe the injuries that you said you had on December 2nd, right?
Yes.
And you filled out that form, right?
Yes.
And you didn't do it on December 16th, did you?
No.
He actually emailed it to you, and you took 2 days, and then you emailed it back. True?
Yes.
Okay. And on that form, you put that your chest and throat were very sore for days after, right?
Yes.
And you put that you had redness, tenderness, pain, and bruising on your neck, right?
Like I said, bruising for me is redness. It was sore, it was redness.
Well, you filled
Faded
out.
away and literally like maybe by the next day, if earlier than that.
Ms. Adams, when did you learn that the defense had provided videos of you to the Commonwealth?
Maybe yesterday or Friday, I think. Sometime last week when I spoke with Drew.
So last Thursday, you met with Mr. Virtue to prepare for your testimony, right?
Yes.
And you met with your lawyer as well, right?
Yes.
Your lawyer is representing you in an effort to get money from Mr. Diggs. True?
My lawyer's representing me my workers' comp claim, the injuries that I received on the job that Mr. Diggs refused to pay for. That's what my lawyer's representing me for.
Are you sure about that, ma'am?
She is my workers. I got my lawyer from workers' comp.
That lady said, "Are you sure about that?"
You sure about that?
You here to get money, right? Okay, we know we established that.
We'll come back to that. Let's stay with the form. You told Officer Ellis on December 18th, so now 16 days after you say you were assaulted, that you had redness, bruising, and soreness on your chest, right?
I told him that, or I wrote that.
Well, you wrote it in a form. You took your time and you chose
I
which
checked the
answers
marks,
to give,
yes.
right? Okay. And you told him your shoulders were red and very sore, right?
Right? This whole area here was sore. Across my chest, up here.
And you told him your whole body was sore, actually, didn't you?
It was.
You told him it was difficult for you to sleep.
I was very upset.
And I think you testified today that Steph supposedly put his forearm around your neck,
Steph did put his forearm around it.
not his hand.
No.
Okay. But you told Officer Ellis he used his hand, didn't you?
I told him to use this. This is the crook of his elbow. That is the rubber.
You know what I'm going to approach? That's the form that you filled out over a course of 2 days and sent back to Officer Ellis, true?
Yes.
And if you look right in under the heading method and or manner of strangulation suffocation, right in the maybe top third of that page, you see that?
Yes.
Question number 2, how was the victim strangled? Check all that apply. See that? He takes hits from 300-pound men, right? For his job. True?
Yes.
Do you know that?
No, I don't know what his role is. And I thought he ran the ball. I don't know people. I'm not sure what he does.
How many games that Steph Diggs has played in have you attended?
I don't know football. I don't watch it to know what's what. I've attended a couple games.
The question was, how many of Stefon Diggs' games have you gone to and watched?
Gone to, maybe 4.
And you don't know that he gets tackled in that game?
I don't really watch it, honestly.
Stop the lies, baby. Oh my God.
You sure about that?
So you've been to 4 of his games. You didn't know he gets tackled by, big guys. You didn't know he at least runs with the ball on the outside of the football line and stuff like that. So now all of a sudden you've been to his games, but you're oblivious to what his profession is. You've been working with him for like what you said 3-4 years, but you don't know what he does for a living. Stop it.
I'm just there for the vibes. I don't really know what be going on.
For
with
the
football. I don't really-
vibes.
I think you will agree with me, that if Stefon Diggs used 10 out of 10 force on your neck,
It was
you
10
would've-
for me. For my little body and what I couldn't breathe, it was a 10 for me.
The question was, estimate the level of pressure that the suspect used during strangulation.
It felt a 10 to me. I could not breathe.
So you chose to answer a different question than the one you were asked.
This questionnaire is about me. Why wouldn't I answer it about me? This is not a questionnaire that's a united, I don't know how to say it, a global.
So she has not discredited her saying that, did you basically saying, did you really get hurt? All right. So we got that part. Let's find another, because there's a day 2 here. Let's go to, where is it? No, I did that one already. This one. It's day 2.
Just a reminder that you're still under oath.
Okay.
And Ms. Adams, again, as of the same as yesterday, if you could do your best to keep your voice up, that is appreciated.
Yes.
Thank you.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Adams, on January 1st, 2026, you sent Steph's girlfriend a text message that later appeared on TMZ's website, correct?
I did not know about that. Where's the failure? I did not know about that. Oh, man. Okay.
Yes.
And in that text message, you told Steph's girlfriend that you were so sorry, but you couldn't talk to her, right?
Yes.
And you told Steph's girlfriend in that text message, I didn't say that, especially in the way it was written.
Yes.
Right? And you were talking about the statement that you made to the Dedham police, right?
It was a voicemail, and I didn't listen. I read the transcript, so I didn't know her voice.
When you told Steph's girlfriend on January 1st, 2026,
I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. So
I
don't
haven't
wanna
finished my
answer it.
question. When you told Steph's girlfriend on January 1st, 2026, in a written text message, I didn't say that, you were referring to the statements that were reported in the press that you gave to the Dedham Police Department, correct?
I don't understand your question.
Did you or did you not write those words?
I don't understand your question. Without further explaining.
What?
You can't testify under oath to this jury what you meant by the words you wrote to Steph's girlfriend on January 1st, 2026?
I'm sorry. I don't understand your question without further explaining.
You also asked Steph's girlfriend to, quote, please call my mediator and she will answer everything you need to know, but only in person and confidentially, right?
Yes.
Your mediator's name is Lynette Marie, right?
Lynette Marie.
Thank you. She's also known as Lynette Marie Turner.
I don't know.
You don't know your mediator's last name?
I don't know her. She's married. I don't know her exact last name.
Your mediator works for a company called LMT Global, correct?
Yes, that's her company.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Man, she getting cooked every which way to Sunday. Woo-wee.
I'm showing you a corporate document from the state of Michigan. It is an amended annual report filed by LMT Global Corporation. Can you please read the name of the president of that company?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sidebar.
Wait a minute. After that's it. I don't recognize the email.
Testimony under oath is that your mediator made a money demand on December 29th for money for you from Mr. Diggs.
Money for past
The
wages.
same day the criminal complaint in this case issued, and you didn't see it?
I can't answer that question.
I'm sorry?
I can't answer that question without explaining further.
Can't answer that question under oath.
Without explaining.
Your mediator demanded $19,000 on that date, didn't she?
For wages owed, yes.
Your Honor, I move to strike that.
Overruled. Answer stands.
Sorry?
Answer stands.
Thank you, Your Honor. You've made another money demand in this case, haven't you?
That's the question,
Actually,
B.
before we get there, the
I didn't get a
$19,000.
chance to answer the question.
Before we get there,
Are you withdrawing your
yes,
question,
the
counsel?
question is withdrawn. Thank you, Your Honor. After a money demand for $19,000 was provided to Stefon Diggs, on February 13th, you issued a public statement, didn't you?
Yes.
And in that public statement, you said, I have never sought money to settle this matter, right?
I haven't.
And by the middle of April, you had hired a lawyer to represent you, right?
For workers' comp.
That's a yes or no question, ma'am.
Yes, for workers' comp.
Your Honor, may the
Answer the
witness be instructed to please
goddamn
answer the
question.
questions
What
posed.
the
Witness answered your question.
All right. And for workers' comp, the lawyer you hired, is she sitting in this room right now?
Yes.
And she helped you prepare for your testimony in this case, right?
She came to support me.
She came to the meeting with the Commonwealth's lawyer to help prepare you for your testimony in this case, correct?
I don't know how to answer that question.
You can't answer that question under oath, ma'am?
No,
You met with the prosecutor last Thursday, right? With your lawyer,
I was
right?
told to have a lawyer because you guys asked me to plead the fifth on some things. So I was instructed to have my lawyer come,
So your testimony under oath is that the Commonwealth's attorney instructed you to bring your private lawyer?
or a lawyer that you guys offered a lawyer. So I brought my private lawyer.
I'm sorry, when you say you guys, do you mean me, defense counsel for Mr. Diggs?
Yes.
Is your testimony under oath that I had some role in your preparation session with the district attorney's office to prepare you for your testimony in this case?
I was told that the defense said I needed to have a lawyer, or they were going to provide a lawyer, something in that context, about pleading the fifth, about messages. So I brought my lawyer, which was when I walked to the side of the judge yesterday.
Your personal lawyer is here today, correct?
My workers' comp.
She's with the law firm of Boston Law. That's a law firm here in Dorchester, Massachusetts.
Ma'am, I think that was I apologize, but you do need to keep your voice up. I don't know if you
Okay. Yes.
Thank you. Tell the jury how much I think you described her as a workers' comp lawyer.
I got her because I was injured on the job and I needed to file a workers' comp case. Stefon Diggs did not have proper workers' and comp insurance.
Ma'am.
The final portion of that answer will be stricken and you will disregard it. Ms. Adams, if you could just listen to the question, answer the question, and if you need it rephrased, counsel will certainly rephrase it for you. Next
Okay.
question.
Thank you, Your Honor. 3 weeks ago, your lawyer demanded $5.5 million from Mr. Diggs, didn't he?
Mr. Diggs offered me $100,000
Ma'am?
to recant my statement.
That is a yes.
That is the
Your Honor,
only.
Maybe be heard at sidebar, please.
Objection, move this right. The last part of the witness's answer, the last part of the witness's response will be stricken as non-responsive. You will disregard it and you will not consider it during your deliberations.
All right, so that part's over, man. She just determined to answer the question the way she wants to answer them, right? I get it. Okay, I think here is another. I think it was her supervisor or something, maybe. Let's watch this part.
What do you do for a living, Ms. Salas?
I am the chief of staff to Mr. Diggs.
You say Mr. Diggs, is that Stefon Diggs?
Correct.
How long have you been Mr. Diggs' chief of staff?
Since July 2023.
What are your responsibilities? What do you do day to day as his chief of staff?
I manage all the moving parts. It also varies between during the season or off season, calendar management, vendor management, and I'm pretty much the liaison between his marketing and talent agency. If I need to speak to finance, anything that comes up with his agent, anything personal, family related.
Sounds like quite a bit there. Okay. You said it varies by whether it's in the off season or the season. What does that mean?
So during the season, the calendar is pretty much structured for about 20 weeks, depending how long it goes, from camp all the way until the end of the season. So there's a strict schedule day to day, pretty much from 7 to 6 p.m. And then off season, it varies between training, traveling, and other business commitments.
Okay. And so you've been saying season and off season. Fair to say Mr. Diggs is a professional football player?
Correct.
And so that would be the football season?
Correct.
You said that in the in the regular season, there is kind of schedules that you have to liaise with the team on, correct?
Correct.
Right? In the off season, it's more a schedule that you and Mr. Diggs can set then?
Correct.
When is the football season? What time of year?
Preseason, I would say July. So that's when we start preparing for camp, a home. And so they found this space and we looked at it.
Before. Have you hired chefs before in the
Correct.
past?
Yes, I have.
All right.
Yes.
In terms of just kind of the process of hiring drivers.
Any friends that would come and visit.
Okay. Were there kind of permanent or assigned bedrooms in that house?
There was a general 2 bedrooms to the left is where they're pretty much off. They just have to report back on the scheduled day that it's typically.
That's a video ending in the number 602. Do you recognize what we just saw there?
Yes, that's Mr. Diggs' Maybach.
Okay. And what's happening that
He left for work.
Where were you?
I was in the car, probably waiting to leave and warming up the car to go.
Okay. And you weren't in that car that we just saw
No,
drive up.
I was in
correct?
his Porsche.
Orient us on what we're looking at there.
The
Pause it here, a second into the front.
a minute on my hair, just regular, just walking around the kitchen, probably around the house. Nothing out of the usual.
Okay. That afternoon, did you, is that the only time you saw Miss Adams? You see her again as the day
Towards
went
the
on?
in the evening, closer to the evening.
So after dark?
Yes, it was because it was getting dark at like 3 o'clock. And
Was there anything on Mr. Diggs' schedule? Speaking of Mr. Diggs, later that evening?
yes,
And did you see any of those, the card or the presents that you
yes, there were 2 boxes on his bed from Chanel. One he had opened up and he put on after his massage, and we were getting ready to leave. I told him, we got to pack, we got to go, we got to make this flight. He put the beanie on. There was another box that was unopened, and then there was a green Post-it with whatever note she had on it telling him for his birthday.
Right. Prior to, speaking of Mr. Diggs, prior to arranging for
Yes.
Miss Adams' Uber, did you hear anything that afternoon?
No,
Any screams?
no,
Slam doors?
no,
Anything out of the ordinary?
no.
Do you know if Miss Adams cooked dinner that night?
It was like a hot dog. It was like and there was like mustard on it, but it was like left on the counter and it was like dried up. And then in that room, it was like dried up. So there was like 2 that were made.
Let me back you up on that. Do you know if she did cook dinner that
She
night?
did
Where did she do that?
in the kitchen.
And what time did you see that?
I just remember the food being like prepared
Okay.
already.
And you mentioned it was a hot dog or something like
Yeah,
that?
I was
She
like,
made his
it was
ninja
like
hot
a
dog.
hot dog, or like, you know, like Auntie Anne's when they have like the pretzel dogs. It kind of looked like that, but it was kind of, it just looked dried up.
Okay.
Weisman?
Yes.
Okay. So right now you are the chief of staff, is that right?
Correct.
Man, she brought this ninja presents and even cooked him a hot dog on the way out. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. And of course, we'll play right here where, wait a minute. Backship claim, attack claims. There's no really credible evidence. Let's see here.
Good afternoon again.
Closing
ladies and
arguments.
gentlemen. As I said to you,
Okay, there's no closing arguments. Let's get to the part where he is found not guilty. Let's go.
Hearken to your verdict as the court has recorded it. Upon your oath, you say that the defendant is not guilty. Lady, as your jury. Madam Forelady, has your jury agreed upon a verdict?
Yes.
On count 1, strangulation or suffocation, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
On count 2, the charge of assault and battery, what is your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Madam Forelady, members of the jury, hearken to your verdict as the court has recorded it. Upon your oath, you say that the defendant is not guilty of the count of strangulation or suffocation and not guilty of the count of assault and battery. So say you, Madam Forelady?
Yes.
So say all members of the jury.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Jurors, please be seated for a moment. Everyone.
Man, this ninja shedding a tear. Let me go back to that. He shed a little quick tear out of that eye. Let me, where is it? Look at that, boy. He's so happy right now. He's so, I won't say happy, but relieved. Ninja shed a tear, boy. Like,
Be
man,
seated for a
thank
moment.
God.
Everyone be seated.
She tried to ruin my
Jurors,
life.
I told you during this trial and in my instructions that the verdict was your responsibility.
And that is his mother in the back of the courtroom. Word on the street is that she was the only female in the courtroom. Shout out to Ticket TV. She was the only woman in the courtroom that was supporting him during this trial, even though it was only like 2 days.
And your responsibility alone. Jurors, I want to thank each of you for your careful attention and your service throughout this trial. This case has involved a heightened level of public attention. Despite that, you have remained focused on the evidence presented in this courtroom and the law as I instructed you. That is exactly what is required and it is essential to the fair administration of justice. I recognize that serving as a juror in any case can be demanding and in a
So we're going to end it right there, everyone. But you see what's going on here, man. Stefon Diggs was a philanderer. He was cheating on his girlfriend at the time, Cardi B, with this woman. Stuff went sideways, and she freaking called the police on this man and alleged some very horrible things he did to her, only to be found that she was, basically lying about it. And Stefon Diggs now not guilty. I hope that he takes it as a lesson, man, to slow your roll when it comes to the women. And you definitely got to do better, all right, bro? Because the next time you might not be found innocent, you might be going to jail and losing your complete career and all the money that comes with it. So, wait a minute. Thank y'all again for attending another episode of the Working Man Podcast. I am your host, Nicholas J. Fury. Man, this is, man. I'm glad he hopefully learned his lesson like I said before. And remember, everyone, like I always say, Stefon Diggs, if you're ever watching this, please understand, brother, reality checks are free. See y'all next time.